Today we are sharing 3 of the worst things about living in Oregon, 3 things that you want to know before you decide to relocate to Oregon. And if you're new here, welcome. We get calls, texts, and emails from people like you who are watching our videos and are thinking about moving to our area all the time. And we absolutely love it. So if that's you, if you're thinking about relocating to Salem, Oregon, or anywhere in the surrounding areas, feel free to reach out anytime. I will put our contact information below.
This is a weird subject. Yeah, my name's Spencer. I'm over here just waiting for the intro to be done. Yes, we are talking about negative things in Oregon, which is kind of rare. We don't really do that often because we are Oregonians. We're born and raised here. I was born in Salem, same with Mariah. But these are true things, and if you Google it, like everybody does, why should I move to Oregon? Or why should I not move to Oregon? Well, maybe this is a video as to why you're here listening to this channel, because we've come up with 3 things you need to know before moving to Oregon. And these are the top things that people criticize about, talk about, but also when we've showed them homes, so they've traveled across state at this point, we've showing up and we've set up showings for them. These are things they ask us. And so rather than you making the flight, you booking appointments, let's save you money, come to this video and see if it works out for you. Okay, so these cons about Oregon, about living here, are from an article on homeandmoney.com. I got to give them the credit here. So, let's just jump into it. Okay. Don't do these. The no list. Yes. I don't think so. Why you might not living here, but also we have to say some of these you can't really prevent though. Right. We have to say we're 2 people who we always speak we talk a lot on our channel about what it's like living here for people who are thinking about moving here, that type of thing, real estate in our area. And we are 2 people who genuinely really enjoy living here. So we might put our own kind of positive twist on it because we really do have a positive outlook about it here. Yeah. And all of our clients who move here are people who, they're moving here for a reason. They're very excited to move here. And we hear all the time after, we check in on them after they've lived here a little bit. And we only, for the most part, hear positive things about, how we really like it here. We love the area. So, and okay. Nobody just usually moves somewhere blindly. Yes. Okay. It's very rare. So we know you guys video viewing this, you're doing your own research. You're understanding simple areas, different areas in Oregon when it's related to crime, precipitation, school districts. We know for the most part, if you have kids or in those categories, you've done your research, and then you ask us as a real estate professional, where do you think a good area for me to move into would be that fit these categories? We get clients week after week asking us, hey, Spence, this is my job. This is my experience. What's a good, my kid's this age. What's a good area you think we'd be most happy to live in while being in Oregon? And so it's my job to give some type of guidance. If it works out, it works out. And then we get you flying out here and we schedule some showings. Mm-hmm.
And another thing is there's pros and cons to living anywhere. I thought it was funny that one of the places on the list of the top places where people moved to in the U.S. last year, one of the top move to places was the state of South Carolina. And at the same time, while it was one of them had the most amount of people moving there, one of the places, it also had some of the highest crime rating and some of the lowest school ratings. So there's, pros and cons no matter where you live. Yeah, those are big deals.
They were like the bottom 3. Yeah. So it was the bottom 3 when it comes to safety and schools. But people still want to live there.
Yes. Okay, so let's just start off with the first con is crime rate. So what this article said is if you some of these crimes tend to get resolved. However, if I were you, I'd directly lock my car doors in Salem because their motor vehicle theft is 40% higher than the national average. Either do that or avoid having anything, valuable in your car. So I think
that is very accurate though.
Yes. But
that is such a good statement.
But with crime rating, it's not, I don't want to paint the wrong picture of Salem or just Oregon in general, because it's not that it's a dangerous place with, all this crime everywhere. The thing that is, higher than the national average is petty theft, petty car theft, car theft in general. And, I have had my car broken into, I've lived here my whole life, and it's happened to me twice. So two different sides of town.
Which it does happen, though.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, at night, it depends on what area, what street, what side of town you're on. I mean, there's some dark side streets that just don't have street lights. Well, what do you think's going to happen if you leave your car unlocked? Or what do you think's going to happen if you live in more of an area where, I mean, homeless rate is higher?
Yeah.
There's people wandering the streets late at night when we're asleep, and it is what it is. But it's petty theft. My brother, he's a police officer for the city of Corvallis. Go Beavers, ex-wrestler there. And the most things he deals with, the most things here, and he talks to other cops across the state. It's more mental health stuff. It's more not necessarily killings, gang relations. Now, those things do exist. Don't get me wrong. It's more the mental health side. So homelessness, drug related. Usually the people doing these type of crimes, it's drug related or they don't have much else to lose. So homelessness. So those are where you got to realize what's safe and what's not safe.
Yeah.
That question is very misleading.
Yeah.
Because crime.
Yeah.
Every crime I go to and think about is, man, my home getting shot up or a school shooting or something like that.
Yeah.
And simply, I have not been part of a fight outside of the wrestling room. Okay. There's those type of things. So the people, the areas I'm involved with simply are safe.
And another thing is, I mean, for example, downtown Salem, I have many times walked around downtown Salem by myself at night and I don't feel unsafe. Yeah. And this goes for other areas, for all of Oregon. This goes for, there's definitely certain areas in Portland where I know, okay, if I'm leaving my car in this specific parking garage, I'm going to, put I don't know if my laptop's with me, I'm going to put it in the trunk or, there's cover it up. There's certain things that
know where you're going and leave your stuff at home.
Because things are more likely to get broken into in certain areas. But it's definitely not, I don't want to paint the picture that it's a dangerous place because I have, like I said, been here my whole life. I've never felt
I will say though, unsafe. The car theft and the car break-ins, if you got a bike, hang it up on a lock. Yeah. Those things are real. I hear that quite often. I mean, if you drive a Honda, a lot of Hondas get stolen around here. My cousin's car actually just got stolen a week and a half ago, and had like 400,000 miles. It's a little Honda car. I mean, it's worth maybe $500. But there's these petty things, and if you're in the area where opportunity is granted, I mean, you got to be more safe, or else you will be sorry. Yeah.
Con number 2 is housing costs.
Dun, dun, dun. So what does this mean, though?
We are not as expensive as many other places on the West Coast. Obviously, Los Angeles, New York, San Francisco, Sacramento, Seattle. But people moving from cheaper cities might be surprised that it is more expensive here than a lot of other places. Home prices here are 22% higher than the national average. So that's for, Salem specifically. So another thing, when you've lived here, it's something you don't really notice, except when you're working with people who are moving here from other states that are less expensive. It does seem more expensive, and that is a con. But a lot of people still move here. A lot of our clients are actually, you would think it's all people moving from places that are like California where they can get more for their money here. And don't get me wrong, we do have a lot of that. And a lot of people are really grateful to come from California and be able to actually afford a yard here because there it was too expensive for that. Yeah. But we do have many people moving from all over the U.S. Many times there are places that are a lot less affordable than Oregon, but they choose to still live here because there's things that, they don't get in the other areas that they're wanting in Oregon, or job opportunities, or whatever the reason is.
Affordability changes. Yeah. And what I mean by that is if you're in a different area in the country and your hourly wage is different, you move to Oregon, your hourly wage may be different. Okay, well, now what you used to be able to afford compared to what you now can afford changes, okay? So depending on the area you live in, things change. Now, I remember growing up, being, 15, 17 years old, working a summer job, only being able to make a certain amount, and I thought to have like $15,000, $20,000, it was just going to be impossible because all I could look at what was in front of me and what I was able to produce over one summer. I just never thought that could be possible. But then once life progresses, you keep living, you gain more experience, you have opportunities, more money comes. And so that's one thing I would say with the outlook on Oregon. Our job opportunity is phenomenal. We have great expectations, whether you're a first-time employee or 50 years in the industry, 30 years in the industry, a tech industry, a driver, UPS, Postal Service. All of those have great opportunity. And then that doesn't even talk about our health industry, our teaching. All of that has tremendous growth opportunity right now in the year 2023. And I think that's going to be a big migration, but a wave of clientele for Mariah and I. So there is opportunity. So
yeah, definitely.
So where you're at right now, say your wage is what it is. You move to Oregon, think about what it could be. Think about what it can be.
And another thing, I've said this before, but one of the main reasons, as someone who specializes in working with relocation clients, one of the main reasons I'm seeing people move here is jobs, whether they're moving here for jobs in Salem, Woodburn, Albany, Dallas, Portland, somewhere on the outskirts of Portland. All of those areas and in places in between are places that we have seen buyers move to recently, specifically for job opportunity. So that is true. There's great jobs. Kind of got off topic. We're kind of turning this.
No, that's great.
I feel like we have such an optimistic outlook on it here that we're turning every con into a pro.
Well, it's very rare I talk about negativity.
I know.
And these are negative things. These
are
real things. If you look at houses that you can afford elsewhere in the United States, yes, it's going to cost a little bit more here. Yeah, if you go buy a prime rib or a steak in the store, yes, it's going to probably cost a little bit more here. But there's opportunity around you.
Absolutely. And we do always want to paint a not just a positive picture. Obviously, we'll share the things we like about it here in our perspective, but we obviously always want to paint a very just accurate picture of it here as well, because you need to know the cons as well if you're thinking about moving here. So, okay, so the last con is the weather. Okay, let me just say, I feel like before this week, it was kind of getting, okay, right now at the time of filming this, because you might be listening to it a year down the road or months down the road. Right now it's the end of January. And I feel like up until this last week, I was definitely getting to the point of okay, I'm over the rain. I need a vacation. I need some sun in my life. And it delivered, because this whole last week it's been still cold. When you go outside, you're like, ooh, it's really chilly, but it has been so sunny all week. No rain, blue skies. It's been cold and sunny. And not if you're moving from, because I've heard people who are moving from a lot of other states that actually get cold, and they're it's not that cold. That's, depends on where you're coming from, but it's been nice and crisp. You definitely still need a jacket. You don't need snow clothes, but you need a jacket, but it's been sunny. And that's we do have a lot of that. I think people paint the picture of it's always raining, and it does rain a lot, but we have a lot of these days, even through the winter, where it's cold and sunny. We
have seasons. And one thing a lot of people, I would say, don't talk about is the farming industry. We are known for one of the largest amounts per acre in grass seed. We farm a ton of grass seed and ship it nationwide, but globally as well. So we do have allergies, I would say. Once we get into those summer months, wind picks up as well. The farming progresses. We till the fields. We chop the hay. That stuff is in the air during that season, and the flowers start blooming. All of these things happen at once. You could have allergies for probably 2.5 months. Luckily, we have medications for that. But if you're one that gets really bad allergies, that is a thing, and I have seen that. I mean, people's eyes, my cousins, he swells up if he gets around hay. We call it hay fever. There's just things that you really can't control because of the environment you live in when you're in particular areas in Oregon. Now, that's not everywhere in Oregon.
And that's not everyone, because a lot of people never get out. It doesn't affect them at all.
Exactly. Mariah, it doesn't affect her. I get some allergies year after year, but it is what it is. I wouldn't trade it for the world, because I am able to go ride my dirt bike and quad. That's an hour and a half away. I'm able to go snowboard and ski. That's an hour away. I'm able to go to the ocean. I'm able to go to the city. I can drive to Seattle. I can get to California through the I-5 corridor. There's other pros, I would say, revolving the weather, because all of us, we are humans and we get bored doing the same thing every day for the most part. There's some people, they can do the same thing, keep going. They have the routine. That's fine. Seasons create opportunity out of different times of the year. So when it's summertime, I'm doing different things I would be when it's the wintertime. So that's the example as to a benefit that weather can bring. But if you're one like my client, they're moving out of Oregon. They live in Lebanon, Oregon. Right now, we just sold their house. It's going to be sold in 15 days. A cash sale, out of state client. They're getting to Arizona. She owns 2 other properties in Arizona. She just remarried here in Oregon a year ago. She said, husband, I'm out of here. We have to go to Arizona. My sinuses, I just don't feel good. The cold weather is killing me, and it's affecting them in their marriage. So being a man, and he's like, yeah, you got 2 houses in Arizona. Nothing's really holding me here. He's going to Arizona with her. They're selling because of the weather. So there are instances people say, hey, let's get out of Dodge. But right now we're in an amazing real estate market where if you are a seller, you can sell your real estate with top equity. But if you're a buyer, we're able to negotiate right now more than ever. We've gotten more closings with sellers paying closing costs than I can count in the last 2.5, 3 years. It's been really fun. And I mean, what's the property worth to you? What's it worth to you? Okay, let's send the offer at what you think it's worth, if it's the right situation.
Definitely, yeah. Things are definitely a lot easier of a market for buyers than we've seen in a really long time, which has been super fun.
It's been encouraging.
Yes. Awesome. Well, thank you guys for watching. And we come on here every week and just talk about the area and the real estate market and what you want to know if you're thinking about moving here. And we'll see you guys next time.